The story of Atlantis is an ancient one. It has fascinated people for thousands of years. It speaks of a great island nation, powerful and advanced. This nation existed long, long ago. The tale tells of its incredible wealth and might. Then, in a single day and night of misfortune, it vanished. It was swallowed by the sea, disappearing without a trace. The first written account of Atlantis comes from the Greek philosopher Plato. Imagine a city unlike any other. This was Atlantis. The capital city was built on a series of concentric rings. 3 canals, dug by human hands, connected the outer sea to the central island. The innermost wall surrounding the central citadel flashed with the red glow of orichalcum. The central temple, dedicated to Poseidon and his mortal wife Plato, was a sight to behold. The canals were filled with ships from all over the world. The land was incredibly fertile. Farmers harvested 2 crops a year. They were also skilled artisans. They were also brilliant engineers. They were also wise lawmakers. The Atlanteans were also known for their advanced technology. Their military was formidable, with a powerful navy and an organized army, but over time they became greedy, arrogant, and immoral. Their divine nature weakened as their human flaws grew stronger. This moral decay, according to Plato, set the stage for their eventual downfall, a lesson for all civilizations. The details Plato provided were remarkably specific. This location placed Atlantis in the Atlantic Ocean, giving the ocean its name. Plato used the story of Atlantis as a way to explore his own ideas. In his telling, ancient Athens represented the perfect, virtuous society. Atlantis, on the other hand, began as a noble kingdom. It was a city in perfect harmony with the sea. The story was not just a passing mention. It was a detailed narrative filled with descriptions of grand architecture and a sophisticated society. If Atlantis was a real place, where could it have been? This question has inspired countless expeditions and theories. The most obvious location is the one Plato suggested, the Atlantic Ocean. He placed it just beyond the Pillars of Hercules. For centuries, explorers and dreamers have scanned the ocean floor for any sign of a sunken continent. The Mid-Atlantic Ridge, a massive underwater mountain range, has often been cited as a possible remnant. Another very popular theory points to the Mediterranean Sea. This is the massive volcanic eruption on the island of Thera, now called Santorini. Around 1600 BCE, a powerful volcano erupted there. It destroyed the flourishing Minoan civilization on the island. The search for Atlantis is not limited to Europe. One theory suggests that Antarctica was once Atlantis. Long ago, it may have had a temperate climate and a different location on the globe due to crustal displacement. Other theories have placed Atlantis in the Caribbean, near the Bahamas. The Caribbean theory is tied to the so-called Bimini Road, an underwater rock formation that looks like a man-made wall. The Spanish theory points to marshlands in southern Spain, where satellite images have revealed strange rectangular shapes that some believe are ancient ruins. The end of Atlantis was swift and terrible. Plato tells us it was destroyed in, quote, a single day and night of misfortune. The cause of this catastrophe was, he wrote, violent earthquakes and floods. Buildings made of stone would have crumbled. The people would have been thrown into chaos and terror. An undersea earthquake can displace a huge amount of water. That displacement creates massive waves that travel across the ocean. A tsunami could have washed over the entire island of Atlantis. No wall, no matter how strong, could withstand it. The concentric rings of the capital would have channeled the water, ensuring nothing was spared. In Plato's story, the destruction is framed as punishment from the gods. The people had grown arrogant and corrupt. The earthquake and flood became divine judgment. This moral element is key to the story. The eruption of Krakatoa in 1883 produced a sound heard thousands of miles away. The 2004 Indian Ocean tsunami showed how one undersea quake can unleash destruction across vast distances. For the people of Atlantis, there would have been no escape. The waves would have submerged their fields, their homes, their temples. It serves as a warning that even the mightiest can be brought down if they lose their way. The physical destruction mirrored the society's moral collapse. The lost city remains lost, hidden somewhere between history and myth. When we look at the story of Atlantis with a scientific eye, we really have to separate fact from fiction. The biggest challenge is that there is no physical evidence. Archaeologists have never found a single artifact or ruin that can be definitively linked to Atlantis. All we have is Plato's story. Most historians and scientists today believe that Plato invented Atlantis. They see it as a literary device, a fictional setting for a philosophical argument. It was a story created to make a point about politics, power, justice, not to record actual history from 9,000 years earlier. However, some elements of the story might be inspired by real events. The theory connecting Atlantis to the Minoan civilization on Santorini is a compelling one. Their main center on Santorini was destroyed by a volcanic eruption of immense power around 1600 BCE. Modern geology also casts doubt on the idea of a large continent sinking in the Atlantic Ocean. The theory of plate tectonics explains how the Earth's continents move. The ocean floor has been mapped extensively. There is no sign of a sunken continent where Plato placed Atlantis. The disappearance of a landmass the size of Libya and Asia combined, as Plato described, is not geologically possible in such a short time. After being largely forgotten during the Middle Ages, the story was rediscovered during the Renaissance. One of the most influential was Ignatius Donnelly. His book, Atlantis, the Antediluvian World, presented the story as historical fact. He argued that Atlantis was the origin of all ancient civilizations, Egyptians, Mayans. His book was hugely popular and sparked a worldwide modern obsession with the lost city. Many writers and mystics in the early 20th century adopted the story. They added their own details, often linking Atlantis to esoteric beliefs, paranormal phenomena. The famous American psychic Edgar Cayce gave many readings describing past lives in Atlantis. He spoke of their conflicts and the powerful energy crystals that, through misuse, led to their destruction. These ideas moved Atlantis further away from Plato and deeper into modern mythology. The story of Atlantis has become a cornerstone of popular culture. It appears in countless books, movies, television shows, video games. Sometimes it is a futuristic utopia powered by incredible science. Other times it is a magical kingdom ruled by powerful sorcerers. It has been depicted as the home of superheroes like Aquaman and the setting for animated adventures. So why does the story of Atlantis continue to captivate us more than 2 millennia after it was first told? One reason is our love of a good mystery. The idea of a lost city hidden from sight, waiting to be discovered, sparks our curiosity and sense of adventure. It is the ultimate treasure hunt. The lack of concrete evidence does not weaken the story. In fact, it strengthens it. Because there is no proof, there is endless room for imagination. We can each picture our own version of Atlantis, filling in the gaps with our own hopes and dreams. The legend also speaks to a deep human longing for a lost paradise, a golden age. Many cultures have stories of a time when the world was better, people were happier, lived in harmony. Atlantis is the ultimate expression of this idea. It was a place of immense wealth, advanced knowledge, perfect order. The thought that such a place might have existed gives us a sense of wonder. It is a story of what humanity could achieve. It is a story that can be adapted to fit any genre, from science fiction, fantasy, adventure. It taps into a shared human desire for wonder and discovery. It allows us to explore themes of technological advancement, moral decay, the awesome power of nature. In an age of climate change and powerful new technologies, the story of a civilization destroyed by its own hubris feels more relevant than ever. Ultimately, the story of Atlantis endures because it is about us. It reflects our greatest hopes and our deepest fears. It is a story of human potential, of our ability to create wonders. Atlantis is a mirror in which we see both the best and the worst of ourselves. It is a myth that asks profound questions about who we are and what kind of world we want to build. As long as we continue to dream of a better world and worry about the future of our own, the legend of the lost city of Atlantis will continue to fascinate and inspire us. Today, the search for Atlantis continues with new technology and fresh perspectives. Satellite imagery reveals previously unknown underwater structures. Deep-sea exploration vehicles can reach depths never before accessible to humans. Marine archaeologists continue to uncover evidence of ancient civilizations lost to the sea. Each discovery adds another piece to the puzzle of our ancient past. Science has taught us that the Earth holds many secrets. We know that islands can rise from the sea and disappear again. We know that sea levels have risen and fallen dramatically throughout history. We continue to discover lost civilizations that were once thought to be myths. Sites like Göbekli Tepe have shown us that ancient peoples were capable of far more than we once believed. Whether Atlantis was real or not, it has become real in our collective imagination. Each generation reimagines the lost city, adding their own cultural perspectives and contemporary concerns. New technologies allow us to experience these visions more vividly than ever before. The story has become part of our global cultural heritage. The lessons of Atlantis remain relevant to our modern world. We continue to develop powerful technologies. The question is whether we can do so with wisdom and humility. The threat of rising seas makes the story feel particularly urgent. Perhaps the real lesson of Atlantis is that our survival depends on cooperation, not conquest. So the mystery remains. Somewhere beneath the waves, or perhaps only in our imagination, Atlantis waits to be discovered. And as long as humans dream of lost worlds and golden ages, the legend of Atlantis will live on, calling to us from the depths of time and imagination.